Let's get down to business. Give you one more night to get this. We've had a million nights just like this. So let's get down to business. Mama, please don't worry about me, 'cause I'm about to let my heart speak. My friends keep telling me to leave this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. Give you one more night to get this. We've had a million nights just like this. So let's get down to business.
It's been a minute, everybody. So we haven't posted in a while, and if you guys are new to the channel, welcome. But we're here at our new property, and we bought this property about a month or so ago, closed on it. We were just running into all sorts of issues with the other house, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. And now that everything's finalized on it, we're going to talk a little bit about what you guys need to beware for if you buy a house in Alabama foreclosed. So as you guys saw from the footage, we got a nice little waterfront property, and yes, that boat will be going in there as soon as we get the dock and everything done. But we've hit a couple snags. So the snag that you guys see and why the yard is completely torn up is when we first got the house, everything seemed fine. When we did the inspection, everything seemed like it was flowing good. They did the water test and everything. Everything looked good, no problems draining or anything. Long story short, after we started getting into the house and using it, we found that there was all sorts of drain issues going on. And at first we thought we had a clog. So we went, tried to snake it. Didn't have a clean out here, so we did add a clean out over here at the front of the house. Well, that's a problem. Literally, it was coming out of that hole when we flushed the toilet and doing stuff. So clearly it's way up there somewhere. We thought we had it all figured out, but now it's just basically backfilling a whole bunch of water. Added that, tried to snake it, nothing. Stella girl, Stella, baby girl, Stella. Yeah. So long story short, after about a week of messing with this, I talked to the HOA here, and we found out that about 2 to 3 months ago, Brightspeed ran a fiber line right through here, all the way down. So it's going to go you can see the fiber conjunction box down there. It's going to go all the way down, all the way through, and it goes all the way down. Sorry, right over there. The other junction box for the fiber. That's a problem, because literally right here is our sewer line, and that's coming from the house to the street. And at first I thought it was on septic. I had a whole bunch of stuff going on. I was trying to figure it out. Long story short, we had to rent an excavator, and we dug it up. And as we were digging it up, we found actually 2 fiber lines. We found one for Point Broadband, which is our provider here, and then we found the other one for Brightspeed. And what's funny is Brightspeed went right through our sewer pipe. Thanks to my wife, she got all sorts of really good photos, and we are actually filing a claim with Brightspeed for damages done to our house on this. Come on, baby girl. Come on. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, I see. You want to say hi, everybody? Want to say hi? Huh? You want to say hi? Yeah. I know. You're all tangled up. You're all tangled up. Nope. Being fresh into a house, you don't expect that kind of stuff to happen for, I would say, at least 6 months to a year that you have to deal with something like that. A little frustrating. But you know something? The nice thing about this house is we are right on the water, and it does need a little bit of work. We have a few things that we have to do to it, but the nice thing that my wife and I like about it is it's got a boardwalk that walks all the way back, all the way to the water. We'll walk back there here in a little bit. And we are going to be working with the U.S. Army Engineer U.S. Engineer of Army Corps, or whatever it is, to get a new dock put back there. Somebody already had one back there at one point, but they didn't do the pylons into the water, and I'm pretty sure it was just like a deck back there all set up. But we'll walk back there and I'll show you some of that stuff here in a little bit. But it does need a little bit of work. We are going to get it resited. We're going to do some skirting at the front and go from there. You know, this is actually paradise for us because it's super quiet, nice neighborhood, right on the water, and look at all this freedom. Like, look at all this. These are empty lots here. They're not up for sale yet. I would like to see if we can try to buy this one here once it comes up, so we can kind of expand over a little bit and use this for more space and stuff. But 3/4 of an acre and pretty decent little area. Only thing we don't like is there's no fence. It goes from this tree all the way down through here. So we did start doing some clearing and some pushback on some of the brush. We got some cleaning up to do out here and get some wiring and everything tucked away here. But for the most part, this is our backyard. And like I said, we're gonna get a lot of this cleared out, and we're gonna do some videos on that. Our objective is to do a nice little patio area out here, and we're gonna put like a paver fireplace area around here. And over here, we're gonna do where Jessica's little shop's gonna be for her crafts. We're gonna bring in a shed, and then we're doing another storage shed right here that's gonna go across here. And yeah, I think it's gonna turn out really good once we get all this kind of done. We have to work with them, but the boardwalk goes straight back. And just so you guys know, this is a can of stain. I have been prepping and I have been working on staining this. We actually think that's going to look really good with the color and everything. So we're going to continue staining all that up, cleaning the deck up really good, pressure washing it, and staining all this up so it gives it a nice little coat with like an oak type. So other house in Lillian. So yeah, we bought that house in December 31st, New Year's Eve. We bought that. Everything was going great. You guys saw the remodel. We were doing everything with it. Perfect, right? All the way up until we got a right of redemption letter from an attorney over in Fairhope. Attorney from Fairhope said the original owners wanted to redeem this. At the time, we knew there was a right of redemption on that property, and we're like, okay, whatever. After I did some research before we closed, they said that there was about a 3, maybe less percent chance that anybody ever goes through with it, because when a house gets foreclosed on, no lender typically touches them, and you have to come up with a full balance in order for you to be able to get the property back. So that's basically what the law for Alabama says. But what they don't tell you is, if you buy a house that's been foreclosed on, an investor or somebody else buys that property for said foreclosed price and then sells it to you for a inflated price because they're trying to make some money off of it because they knew that it was a foreclosed house or whatever. In the state of Alabama, you do not get the foreclosed price of, say, $130,000. You get the said price of $92,000 of what it foreclosed on. So tidbit of information there that you guys really, really want to go and find out about and learn when you guys start doing foreclosure purchases in the state of Alabama. Second, they hee-hawed and left and right and did not want to do stuff. So basically the state of Alabama says that you're allowed to put in for the right of redemption, you have 10 days. Basically, every transaction that you have is a 10-day period between each other. So I had 10 days to respond back with my purchase price, my percentage, my payments, my insurance, everything I was going to claim and put towards this right of redemption that they would have to pay me. So the said $92,000 that they were going to try to claim was not actually $92,000. It was actually an inflated price because at the time I was going to charge them the $130,000 that I paid for the property. Felt reasonable because that was what I paid for it. Plus interest occurred for that time, as well as any type of renovations. And as you guys saw from the videos, we had a lot of renovations that we were doing on that because we found all sorts of mold inside the wall. So we had to basically pull all that clean it up really good, mitigate all the mold before we could put it even back together. And that's why we started doing a lot of that kind of stuff. And we got all sorts of footage of that kind of stuff. So long story short, we went back and forth. We thought it was quiet. You know, it got to about, I think, what was it, April, that we didn't hear anything from them. April was about the time that we were like, oh, screw this. We haven't heard anything. They had 10 days to object to that because we sent it back within, I think, 3 or 4 days from our attorney to theirs. He submitted all the information. We did everything we needed to. Didn't hear anything. Then we got an email from our attorneys that basically told us they're going to redeem it, but it's not going to be for the $130,000. That's not right. That's not correct. You have to do it for the foreclosed price. After looking into the statute inside the Alabama law, they were correct. It is off the foreclosed price, not off the purchase price of what a third party would buy after the foreclosure. So beware of that if you guys ever hear that, okay? Third, after they said that, we were like, okay, fine, whatever. You guys want to redeem it, no problem. We're not going to finish any of the projects. They're going to have to take it as is. They were basically saying that we damaged the property and everything else. Then we found a realtor snooping around on our property. That was what's very interesting. This lady was basically inviting herself into our property, like opening my gates and everything on our property, taking photos, going up to the windows and taking photos. And yeah, that was a huge thing. So right now we have a case against her regarding some of that. And that we've already filed a complaint with the Baldwin County Realtors as well as the Alabama State Real Estate Commission. So we can't really talk too much about that, but I can tell you right now, she had no right to that, and they are pursuing further action on that. And we have an appeal, or we have a hearing to go to regarding all this. So make sure you guys do a lot of research on foreclosure laws and everything else, because we were the rightful owners of that property. Somebody's saying that we didn't technically own it, everything else. They were illegally foreclosed on. There was documentation through Baldwin County for all this. No, inaccurate. Sorry to say, we owned it. So then towards the end of April, they were like, we want to close on it within the next 10 days. Okay. They've initiated that. They said they had funds already available. They were paid by certified check by such and such date. So we had to basically come to terms, and we had to talk to our lawyer and do that. He actually went and we filed that. We got, I think, about $97,000, $98,000 for that and finalized all that. Now the lender went after the seller right along with my attorney, because our attorney found that the seller did not provide a ATLA insurance for our policy for the house and for the title for when they did all that stuff. So in the Alabama law, if you do this, you would typically get title insurance for this when you go and do a closing, and that protects the buyer and everybody and all the parties on that stuff. And basically, that ATLA insurance would have covered a whole bunch of stuff. That would have covered the difference of the 92 to the 139, or I'm sorry, the 130 or 129, whatever you want to call it. I'm just rounding up, 130. It would have covered that. It would have covered a whole bunch of other costs, and we would have got back. So my attorney went after the seller on that, as well as the lender, for breach of contract. After some negotiating, we basically came back. We came with a number that we could live with, and the seller provided that, made up the difference, and we got whole. Not fully, but you know something, for the most part, we did get whole as far as where we need to, and got situated with that. Now, we did take some of that money, and like I said, I took that money and I liquidated all my other assets, as far as the Corvette, the jet skis, and some other stuff. And I understand, yes, everybody's gonna be like, those are depreciating assets. I get that, but we did take that money and we put it towards this property here. So now we have our little slice of paradise. And over the next year, you're going to see a huge transformation on this, because Jess and I already talked about it. We're going to reside this thing. We're going to do all sorts of paneling, and we're going to do a wood, it's going to be a wood structure skirt that I've been doing research on, that you can do with vents and everything. And that wood structure skirt actually goes all the way around and has like a nice decorative brick that goes on there, access panels to be able to get underneath there and do some service work. All sorts of different things. And it's just going to take some time and money to do that. And that's where the channel is going to hopefully help us out with some of that. Gnats are kind of bad right now, but I'm hoping that really does take off and we start getting more followers and subscribers with that, because that truly does help. Each month that we get the check from YouTube for some of that stuff, I know it's not a lot right now, but we do get some ad revenue as well as some other stuff, and we do get reached out to every once in a while for sponsorships, but we're not looking for sponsorships right now unless it's something house related, and we typically review those as they come in. But for right now, everything is done on my 9-to-5 job as well as Jessica's 9-to-5 job. We fund all this stuff and we take care of all this stuff. That's why I buy older vehicles. Yes, I know the Tesla's not older, but I wanted a nice car for my wife because she does drive back and forth. And she does sometimes have to go and drop her kids off up north. And I wanted to make sure she had a reliable car. And with gas prices, I'm actually kind of glad we got that thing, because you know something? It's been a lifesaver going back and forth to work, because we have a 26 or 27 mile drive every single day. And that's one way. That's not round trip. So we have about 40 or 50 mile drive every single day that we got to go to. And depending on traffic, it could be an hour, it could be 45 minutes, whatever. So yeah, that's the update. That is everything that's going on with us here at JK. And like I said, it's been paradise, but it's been stressful because once we got this all in, I had planned on doing a video to show you guys everything. I got some before photos of what the property looked like before we went and had to go tear up the yard. I was trying to avoid that. But after I started doing some digging and we found out that Brightspeed actually bored right through our freaking pipe, we didn't know 100% sure. When the plumber came out and scoped it with the camera, he did see something orange, but he wasn't sure what it was. So then after he pulled it out, I was like, okay, we just got to dig and we're going to have to excavate. So I decided just to go rent a excavator, start digging it up. We called out the 811. They came out and marked everything and figured out where everything was. So we knew exactly where not to dig. And we took our time, dug it all up, and lo and behold, the photos show it clear as day. That fiber line cut right through our pipe that went probably at a 45-degree angle down into the main sewer line, which goes out to the main street there. So, yeah, that is the update. What's up, baby girl? What's up, Stella girl?
She's not being a good girl.
Uh-oh, she's not being a good girl. So, yeah, that's all the update. And like I said, you know, if you guys are new to the channel, you guys wanna help out, subscribe, share us, and for the most part, I got to get out of here because these gnats are killing me, and I got to spray down this area again because we've been tearing it all up, and with us doing stuff in the yard and everything, the gnats are starting to get really bad. I got a spray that I spray about once a week out here that helps tame down the mosquitoes and everything else for people that live on the waterfront. So I'm going to go hit that up. Until the next video, you guys be safe out there. If you're riding your motorcycle, keep 2 wheels down. Peace.